How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to some more major ARK news, and this week we've got a lot to cover. So I'm gonna start with the usual, and then we're gonna dive into some concerns. So, another addition to the community crunch as we gear up for our mighty arrival this Monday. We're excited to share some additional thrilling news. Let's introduce Club ARK. Excuse me. We've long envisioned a place in ARK where players can converge, chat, relax, and have fun, irrespective of their tribe, whether they play PvP or PvE. A true social hub for all survivors. Now that vision is becoming a reality. Saddle up and mosey on over to Club ARK, our brand new social hotspot. Riding into action next week. Dive into a stampede of ever-growing minigames and missions, earning prizes including items and dinos that you can take back home with you. Additionally, starting with the June 17th update, custom cosmetic mods, including costumes, items, and even functional structures, will automatically be dynamically downloaded in the background while you play, so you'll soon see the worlds of ARK get a lot larger. This is a toggleable option, of course. Stay tuned and keep your ear to the ground for more on June 17th. Give yourself a glow up with custom cosmetic mods in Club ARK. Shout out to two mods created by Cliffin featured here: Tactical Bunny Outfit and Sci-Fi Wardrobe. Now the next news on the list, of course, is the controversial Conquest servers. If you're interested in Conquest, they are now live. So, if you're interested, check them out. If you're not interested, like me, it's just, news. And if you keep going, you go straight into the mod spotlight, the continuing Pride Month rates, and then eventually the community corner. Got some pretty cool stuff on the community corner, some nice artwork. Pretty neat. Always turns out to be pretty neat. Always get some good photos in photo mode. Never disappoints at all. So, that's essentially pretty much what they have posted here. But with the announcement of Club ARK, there are some concerns, some very legitimate concerns, such as a map that was discussed just a few weeks ago, and that map is Aberration. The addition of Club ARK has raised some speculation as to whether or not ARK Aberration will arrive on schedule. YouTuber Roz Clark has suggested that the third story map might be pushed back to August or even September, when it was originally set to release sometime in July 2024. This would not be Studio Wildcard's first delay on ARK Survival Ascended, as the island was set to release in August of 23, but was pushed back to October 2023. Scorched Earth was then pushed back from December 2023 to March 2024, and later to April 2024. The Center was then pushed back from February 2024 to June 2024 and released at night, frustrating many ARK players who were eager to play upon the immediate release of the map, in addition to not seeing the trailer prior to the release of the map. So what does Club ARK suggest? Some people are speculating it suggests the inevitable announcement of another delay, and not just a small delay, but a pretty significant one. Now, the next issue at hand, the Pyromane, has sparked controversy and upset throughout the ARK community. What a shocker. So, per ScreenRant.com, as ARK Survival Ascended tries out a new monetized method, the game's massive community isn't all that pleased. What a surprise. With how Studio Wildcard is handling the release of the Pyromane, the latest creature. After months of waiting, the Center, a free add-on development in tandem with a team of talented modders, officially launched on Steam on June the 5th, and while some users are pleased with the massive map, others have been left cold and annoyed by its implementation. Aside from performance issues, the community is concerned that the introduction of the Pyromane could set a bad precedent for future releases. Continuing with the Screen Rant article, over on the official ARK blog, Studio Wildcard confirmed that it was bucking tradition with the Fantastic Teams DLC by charging for one single new creature, a first for the long-running survival game. Traditionally, players who purchased a DLC pack acquired everything for a single price. But given the fact that Pyromane is $5 for just the single creature itself, users believe the same will apply for all animals added under the Fantastic Teams banner. Wildcard has yet to confirm whether this is the case, noting that a single paid tame is new territory and will support the developers. Wildcard, if you want to support your developers, pay them a livable wage. We all know this money isn't going to the developers. We all know it's going to your corporate hotshots. It's heading over to Snail Games. You can sit back, relax, pop open a bottle of champagne, hang out with other people who are in financial trouble that are making more national headlines, we'll say. Okay, you make this money, you just head over to those individuals probably and say, hey, I'll pop open a bottle of champagne for you. Hand me over your new coffee or your pillows. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You want to support your developers, pay your damn developers a livable wage. I guarantee you they would make more money flipping burgers at a damn Wendy's than they would working for you. As per Screen Rant and X, people took to social media replying to how upset they were with this information. One user responded saying, quote, if you're going to do pay things for creatures, do what other games do and only make cosmetics or skins for money. Stop creating pay-to-win DLCs. It's cringe, Wildcard, followed by a gif from The Office. I mean, put Steve Carell on there, you know. That's saying something. You've got Steve Carell saying something. That's really saying something. Another responded, quote, oh great, another pay-to-win creature. So glad I uninstalled and will probably never bother with this game again. If I play ARK again, I'll just return to Survival Evolved. A lot of people are playing Survival Evolved still. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. Survival Evolved, pretty good. Survival Ascended, So far, the center is the only map I've been on that hasn't crashed. It's got a little lag here and there, but it's never crashed. Island crashes almost daily. Scorched Earth every few days. The center, not once. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep it that way. I may feel comfortable making a boss army, breeding up some creatures to take on the bosses of the center, knowing that the game's not going to crash during the boss fight, and I'm going to lose either all my progress or I'm going to kill the boss, open that loot crate, and then the game crashes and I have to start all over again. Breed up another army or take on the boss all over again. Yeah. Given that all users can access the center for free, they insist that those who purchase the tame will have an unfair advantage during PvP. The other most common complaint is the amount of content players are able to acquire, given that previous DLC packs will be purchased in their entirety for a single price rather than a piecemeal fashion. That's true. Would be unfair. I don't play PvP, so I don't know what it's like to experience that, but sounds like a pay to win for me. Sounds like a pay to win for me. I mean, what doesn't sound like a pay to win for me? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, putting it out there on the record. Despite Studio Wildcard's insistence that the money spent on Pyromane will support the devs, many fans are seeing that as just a justification to hike the price on DLC add-ons. Whether or not the Pyromane does become a problem in PvP games remains to be seen, but beyond this, the creature could represent a shift to an entirely new business model that may alienate players unwilling to spend more on smaller expansions. Studio Wildcard has yet to respond to the community's concerns. And that's right, just don't put out a public statement. Do what a lot of people who are in deep crap do. Don't say anything. Don't address the problems. Wait a while. Think, oh, it'll blow over. It'll blow over. Nothing to worry about. Just wait. Take some deep breaths. They'll get over it. They'll get used to it. They have no choice. We're large and in charge. You're losing customers, Wildcard. You're not going to be large and in charge for much longer. The more customers you lose, the less money you get overall. You can put out as many new paid DLC creatures as you can. You're going to lose more and more customers. Next thing you know, I think you'll be joining Hello Guy. Hate to say it, but bankruptcy's a thing these days, so I'd watch your back. Make some more appropriate business decisions. But, however, Screen Rant goes on to say, despite players worrying about the precedent Pyromane could set in ARK Survival Ascended, one has to admit that is indeed an interesting creature. The fiery lion is able to transform from a shoulder pet to a full-size mount with just a single button, making it among the most unique of the fantastic creatures in the center. Well, it's the only fantastic creature so far. But yeah, so far it's very unique. The Pyromane can be found in all biome appropriate locations, so players should start scoping out some literal hotspots if they are interested in the Pyromane. Now here's the problem with all this. Here's the problem I have with all this. Is this a good idea to introduce a new creature? Absolutely. You're losing customers as it is. So you might as well introduce something that is more appealing, we'll say. But to charge creature by creature, if that ends up being your move, this apparent saving grace could be your downfall. You lost enough customers as it is. I mean, everyone, well, quite a few people looking forward to ARK 2. I mean, I'm not one of them because I think ARK 2 will probably end up getting scrapped. You know, like there are some games out there that, you know, are planned and they end up getting scrapped because it becomes you know, not feasible. I mean, take a look at PT, Playable Teaser. It was a horror game. It was supposed to be made into a game called Silent Hills. Everyone was excited for it, and they scrapped the game. I mean, PT was fun to play. I never got a chance to play it. But watching people play it, that was pretty fun. Seemed like it would be pretty fun to play it. But I highly doubt charging creature by creature for fantastic tames would be a good idea. Now, if you're going to make a statement saying that this is just one DLC pack and you have to pay just $5 total for the pack or something, which they're probably not going to say. They're probably going to say, oh, you're going to have to pay more than $5. We're going to expect at least 15 out of you. In that case, you should have put the Pyromane on hold. You shouldn't have released it yet. Because if that was your intention, for it to be an entire pack, you should have put the Pyromane on hold. I mean, a lot of people, I myself, I have my Creative Ascended series. I have cheats. I've cheat spawned Shastasaurus, pre-tamed Shastasaurus. And I've gone inside them. You know, I've made the saddle, used them. They're pretty cool, but at the end of the day, they're not useful for single player. The center's still the center. Now this is a good addition because this is good for single player. This is a much more feasible tame. You know, you don't have to worry about crafting a saddle. It's not an in-game tame. The Shastasaurus by no means is a requirement. It's just there to be there. So I honestly think, like, Pyromane, overall, is the creature itself a good idea? Absolutely. But the way Wildcard is going about releasing it could use some improvement. So that is just my personal view. I think there is a way they can make Fantastic Tames work. I think if they're able to incorporate it with Bob's Tall Tales, or perhaps say the Pyromane is just a demo, just to see what's going on, and we'll release the rest of the Fantastic Tames later on. And here's my speculation of the Fantastic Tames. I mean, we all know that Wildcard and Snail Games are having some financial issues. We know that. They're in debt. They need to pay it off. Snail Games is unfortunately putting all this pressure on Wildcard, and Wildcard's throwing it all on their devs, and their devs are ripping their hair out of their heads every single day, making the game better. But they are probably, I would be ripping my hair out of my head upon learning these business decisions. So ultimately, if their goal is to make more money, the Pyromane should have been a free demo to see how people react to it and say a lot of people like it, so all the future fantastic creatures you're going to have to pay, but it's going to be a package, just like Bob's Tall Tales. Pay for it once, you have it all. So when the Aberration portion of Bob's Tall Tales comes out, you don't have to pay for it. When the Extinction portion comes out, you don't have to pay for it. So it should be the same with this. Pyromane, you don't have to pay for it. The rest of the fantastic creatures, you just have to pay for the package. And that's it. So as they slowly come out, you don't have to pay for them. You just buy the package. And as each creature comes out, which I assume the fantastic creatures, I think this is damning evidence that they are doing away with community votes on new creatures. I think, what was the last vote we did? Dreadnoughtus for Extinction, I believe. I think they're not going to do any more community votes. I think Fantastic Creatures has been created to take the place of that. If it's one package, I can see that being appropriate. Charging for the Pyromane, I think, was a mistake. But if Wildcard releases a statement saying, we're just charging for the Pyromane and the overall package, all the rest of the creatures are going to be free, then, okay. However, they should not be automatically included in the base game. Because think about it, not everyone's going to buy it. So if people buy it and some people don't buy it and they're on the same server, well, that's an unfair advantage. That's a pay-to-win scenario. So it should definitely be turned into a mod that is only on specific servers. There should be servers that have the Pyromane, servers that don't have the Pyromane. Because, again, it's pretty much a pay-to-win, unfair advantage. So, and I don't play PvP, so that's not going to really affect me. I strictly play single player. But for the PvPers out there, I can see a lot of PvPers who don't enjoy playing on single player servers. I can see a lot of them being very concerned and very upset and being like, I don't like playing by myself, so guess what? I'm done with ARK. I don't have anyone to play on PvE. Or, I don't like PvE. I don't like unofficial PvE. I only like PvP. I'm done with this. I'm out of here. So that's just my thoughts and opinions. There is still room to correct this. Number one, turn it into a mod. And number two, make sure it is a package deal. So you only have to pay for it once. So the Pyromane, it's too late for that. You already have to pay for the Pyromane. But the rest of the fantastic creatures, if they are turned into a mod and you only have to buy it once as a package, a relatively inexpensive package that is, that's a chance at potential redemption. I know not everyone's going to agree with me on that, but you're entitled to your own opinion. Some people don't want the fantastic creatures at all. So, yeah, that is this week's ARK news. I know it's been a lot. I know a lot of people are wondering why you are rambling on about this, but it's very important to cover. So, I am going to have timestamps in the description of this video if there is a specific part of this week's ARK news you want to check out. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.